Crisis, for many people, is this silent killer. It's a very invisible, destructive power.
Unfortunately, domestic violence, it doesn't discriminate. It's everywhere. We see people from all walks of life, all different ages, ethnicities, backgrounds.
I think the important message that victims need to hear is that it's not your fault, that you deserve better, that there's hope, that you're not alone, and that you have the power within yourself to heal and to create a world that you want to live in. I found myself in a very oppressive and intense relationship, and I was pregnant at the time, and we had just moved to Chattanooga. So I was very isolated, didn't have a support system, was working a lot of hours to keep our family afloat, and yet my emotional space was very broken down. I didn't believe anymore that I had something to contribute to the world. I didn't think that I could solve my own problems. He had convinced me that nobody else would want me, that I was broken beyond repair, that he was trying to fix me and be the hero, but that I couldn't even see my own problems. That's how bad it was. But what I could see was how my kids were suffering under his heavy hand. The behaviors I saw in them were what created urgency for me, even when I lost sight of the damage and the abuse that was happening to me. There was always the promise of change and the promise things will get better and pleas for me to stay, but nothing ever changed. And despite all the confusion and how overwhelmed I was, seeing my kids every day hanging by a thread was what compelled me to look for help.
At the partnership in our Victim Support Services Department, we have a lot of different services that we can offer for victims that have been through sexual assault or domestic violence or both. We have a 24-hour, 7 days a week hotline. People call it for a lot of different reasons, but if you're calling trying to leave an abusive situation, our crisis advocates, they will walk you through the process. We have a rape crisis center where we offer forensic exams for victims of sexual assault that can be used to, collect DNA. We also offer domestic violence forensic exams, which is a new initiative being done, not in many places throughout the country, but we do offer it here, and it assists with prosecution, documentation, photos, things like that. We also have a domestic violence shelter where victims can come if they're trying to leave an abusive situation. We have rooms for singles and for families where you can come and rest and receive services. Our case managers there walk alongside people trying to get back on their feet, getting out of these abusive situations.
When I called partnership, they were the first people who confirmed that I wasn't crazy and that what was happening to me was not okay, and being seen was incredible after being invisible for a long time. It was the first glimmer of hope that I could recover a life and give something back to my children. One specific memory that has always been very defining for me was the first night there and getting all 5 of my children to bed in this new, foreign, strange, weird place that we are. All of the unknowns, all of the fear. And I left the room once they were all asleep and went out to the hallway and ended up like in the fetal position on the floor in the hallway of this shelter, just like weeping and wondering, how in the world has my life arrived here? These women came out of their rooms and surrounded me, and they said, oh, it's just your first night here, and this is how everyone feels on their first night, but you're gonna be okay. And it was such a beautiful, sacred moment of connection and of unity and the power of women. And I realized if they can do it, I can do it. And we all are gonna come together and put one foot in front of the other to peel ourselves off the floor and find hope and stability and safety again.
If this city didn't have an organization like the Partnership, there's dozens, hundreds, thousands of people whose lives would be in significant state of decay and shambles. The Partnership is this key piece that we as a city have to care about because the Partnership takes care of the heart of the people in Chattanooga.
So much of the community does not know how amazingly they are saving lives every day by being there with hands outstretched to victims of violence, assault, and abuse. The work they do truly is the bridge that got me from desperation and despair back to a space of believing that we could live again.